Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. If you're joining us today, you're probably the kind of person who really likes to look past the flashy headlines to figure out how massive success is actually built. So today, we're peeling back the curtain on the people behind a true global icon, Cristiano Ronaldo. The whole world knows him as one of football's absolute greatest players. I mean, the guy's name is basically synonymous with victory, athleticism, and just sheer willpower. But here's the thing. Behind every single legend, there's a foundation. There's a family that has been right there from day one. So let's jump straight into it and meet the inner circle, the people closest to CR7 who helped build and continue to sustain the legend we see today.
Think about it for a second. There is this incredibly stark contrast between the two worlds of Cristiano Ronaldo. On one side, we have the football legend. We're talking massive global fame, sold-out stadiums, flashing cameras, and just this relentless, suffocating pressure to perform on the world's biggest stages. But flip the coin, and we find the private reality, the family man. This contrast actually highlights a really core truth about high achievers. To survive the extreme altitudes of global superstardom without burning out, you need a powerful grounding force. And for Ronaldo, despite all the unprecedented fame, that grounding force is a quiet, private reality built entirely around his loved ones. It's exactly this divide that makes his story so compelling.
All right, let's look at Section 1, Roots on Madeira Island, the foundation.
You know, every towering skyscraper needs a deep foundation, right? Well, for Ronaldo, that foundation was poured far away from mainland Europe's massive football arenas, right on the Portuguese island of Madeira. And the very first crucial pillar of that deeply rooted foundation is his mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos Aveiro. Her role was absolutely never just hanging out in the background. She's been his constant cheerleader. Honestly, if you followed his career at all, you've definitely seen her. She's constantly cheering him on through this incredibly long, demanding career, essentially acting as his vital emotional anchor. Plus, she's never been shy about speaking publicly regarding her immense pride in his achievements. In the high-stakes, cutthroat world of professional sports, having a mom who serves as this fiercely proud, unwavering pillar of support, that gives you an immeasurable psychological advantage.
Now, that foundation also carries a really deep, poignant weight when we look at the influence of his late father, José Dinis Aveiro. He was a humble municipal gardener and a kitman. For those who don't know, a kitman is the person working behind the scenes, making sure all the uniforms and equipment are prepped for a team. It's an absolutely vital job, but a totally unglamorous one. And yet, from these incredibly humble working-class roots emerged a player of unmatched global stature. But there's a heavy emotional weight here, too. Ronaldo has spoken openly and very movingly about how much he wishes his father had been around to witness his greatest accomplishments. It's a powerful reminder that even when you reach the absolute peak of success, breaking every record imaginable, there can still be this profound sense of loss and a deep yearning to share those triumphs with the people who helped lay your foundation in the first place.
Moving on to Section 2, the sibling support system, lifelong supporters. Usually, when a person experiences a meteoric rise to fame, relationships with the people around them can kind of fracture. But Ronaldo's peers grew up right alongside him as an unbreakable unit. This core sibling network, his older sisters Elma and Katya, and his older brother Hugo, have literally been his lifelong supporters and constant anchors. They've remained publicly supportive of him through his entire career. Just think about the decades of pressure, the intense media scrutiny, the extreme highs, the devastating lows. Through it all, Elma, Katya, and Hugo have formed this protective, supportive barrier around their younger brother. They're basically a living extension of that close-knit Madeiran foundation we were just talking about. Which brings us to Section 3, raising a new generation, the next chapter. So we've spent some time understanding his family of origin, the roots that grew the player. But to truly understand the man today, we have to look at the modern family he's actively building right now. The central figure in this new chapter is Georgina Rodríguez. She is a constant presence across literally every spectrum of his life. Whether it's the high adrenaline environment of a crucial football match, the glitz and glamour of an international award ceremony, or just the quiet intimacy of a family gathering, Georgina is right there. Her frequent and super supportive presence really highlights a fundamental human need, the ongoing need for partnership and stability, especially when you're living a life that's constantly under the microscope.
Together, Ronaldo and Georgina are raising a large family. And honestly, seeing him share these quiet moments with his kids reveals a completely different side of the legend. On the pitch, CR7 is infamous for his fierce competitiveness, his laser focus, and this unyielding drive. But when he steps away from the game and just hangs out with his kids, we see a much softer, more relaxed side of the superstar. It's a complete 180. It proves that while football is his profession and his passion, being a father is a fundamental, non-negotiable part of his identity. It's a total shift in energy, from the untouchable global icon back to the grounded family man.
And finally, Section 4, the ultimate grounding force, the takeaway. So we've layered the different parts of his support system today. We went from his mother's fierce pride and his father's humble legacy to his siblings' unwavering loyalty, all the way to the new generation he's raising with his partner. And it all leads us to one really provocative question. Records make the legend, but what keeps you grounded? Throughout Ronaldo's unbelievable journey, despite all the crazy fame and the endless accolades, one thing has always remained constant: the absolute importance of family. Records, trophies, and goals, sure, those are what make Cristiano Ronaldo a football legend in the history books. But as we've explored in this explainer, it is his family that truly makes the man. They are what keep him grounded. And for millions of fans around the world, this very human element, this heavy reliance on the people he loves, is actually one of the most inspiring parts of his entire story. It asks all of us to look at our own lives and figure out, what are our own grounding forces? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.